All right, we recording? We're recording. Hey guys, Zeph here. I just wanted to talk about like depression and like recently I've been kind of like depressed, but it's getting better. But there's some things I want to talk about. Like in my opinion, like obviously this is all in my opinion, but if you're depressed, you need to realize and admit you're depressed. There's no point in hiding it because if you hide it, it makes you feel shittier, right? Just admit to yourself that you're depressed, right? It's okay to be depressed because in life things repeat itself. Happiness repeats itself, sadness repeats itself to most people, right? Living things. I've been just writing some stuff down here from personal experiences. I think depression is a good way to reset the mental cycle. Sometimes you're overstimulated with whatever you're doing, right? So since to me, I think it's important. But yeah, let's see what else I wrote here. Um, it tends to fade away, right? So with depression, it always fades away. It just takes time, right? Time is healing. Same as wounds, right? For example, you cut yourself, give it a week, you're healed. The same thing with mental states of mind, right? Let's see what else I wrote. But yeah, depression wise, I'm getting better. I'm getting happier. It's important to talk to people, even if it's talking to like a fish. I don't know, like an aquarium or like a dog of yours who might not understand anything, right? Or a family member if you don't have family, if you don't have anyone. Even talking to yourself at a point, I think helps personally. It doesn't help everyone, right? We all have things we like and dislike, food, movies, films, or whatever, cars, colors. Um, but yeah, takes time to heal. You want to recognize your that yourself that you are depressed if you are depressed, and just be honest with people. There's no point in hiding it because just some humans are very aware sometimes if someone's like having a really bad day or it's just like feeling really awful, right? But there's some things I want to talk about, like when I get depressed, like a couple things that I'm not afraid to talk about, but like especially when I'm depressed, like very dark thoughts appear that I'm just willing to share. Like thoughts of like suicide, um, just like past decisions, afraid of like, was the past decisions that I've made in life, were those good decisions? Were those regretful? Right? It's just like a, it's just like a mechanism to get your brain to like reset itself, right? Just to rethink and reevaluate your life, right? But yeah, I get very, very dark thoughts sometimes, and it's important to stay away from those thoughts, is what my mom always tells me, because they just lead to a darker and darker pit, right? So I always imagine that like mentally or physically there's a pit, right? When you're sore, that's a pit. Like that pit is very low, right? It's a negative impact on your body. But mentally, it's easier to imagine. But like when you're sad or whatever, depressed, right? Um, that pit gets deeper and deeper and farther away from light, right? That's a way of like you could like imagine it, right? But yeah, you let's see here, what else? Or like the past, I'm afraid of about. Everyone's afraid of the past, the future. You know, it's life. It's important to be afraid. Um, it allows you to like set goals and stuff. But yeah, uh, but yeah, I believe everyone can overcome depression. There's some people who are super depressed, right, and use medication. I personally am just super against medication because I think it just messes with your hormones and like your brain activity. I think natural healing with time is just better, but unfortunately, some people just can't. You know, not everyone in their life can just, wake up the next day and be a bit better, and the next day be a bit better and better, Some people just get worse, 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 and it eventually leads to, something sad. You know, I've had people in my like family, like friends, suicide. But yeah, just try and stay away from those topics because those are kind of sad. But yeah, um, yeah, but it's important to talk to people, friends, family, yourself, a pet, or anything. Even going outside sometimes, just talking to yourself, right? I think is it helps in a way. Let's see, or even a wife or a girlfriend, right, or brother. That applies to family, but girlfriend isn't really family yet, if that makes sense. A wife is already family, but you get the case, right? But yeah, don't lie to yourself and to the people you're talking to if you're depressed. It's important to not lie. Like, just be honest. Lying just gets you nowhere in life, right? Lying is a negative thing. It can be in a good way sometimes, just to save people, but most of the time lying is a bad thing, because it could just lead to worse scenarios, right? Let's see here. Yeah, being honest with yourself, it just clarifies the soul, it cleans it up, makes you feel better. You don't feel so darkened and depressed, right? Be honest with yourself is the number one thing. And I just wrote in my notes here, remember that history repeats itself with whatever variables exist in our life. But yeah, just wanted to talk a little bit about depression and some things that I tend to do when I'm depressed. Talking to people. There was one time there's a year where I literally just showered in cold water. It definitely helps. I think eventually I'll start showering with cold water again. I think I'll get to that point. But talk to someone, talk to yourself, be honest. Even writing, writing to yourself. Like, for example, I wrote like this whole thing about depression, just something I wanted to talk about to people who struggle with it and just can't figure out a way of, quenching that feeling. Let's see here. Anything else that I want to elaborate on? Don't worry. Don't overthink things. Don't worry too much. Enjoy life while you live. There's always something important to see in life, right? There might be a lot of like negative, impactful things, but there's also like a decent majority of like positive things, right? It's good to be thankful, and yeah, because you could be in a situation where you don't have arms, right, or no legs, or you're born with like deficiencies, whether it's mental or physical abnormalities, right? So yeah, just be thankful. Try to be humble. Humble is one of those things that's just extremely hard to do. There's always a saying that it's easier said than done. It's true. Like most things, you will say, like, if you're playing a sport, it's like, oh, that's, or like if you're watching a sport, for example, you'd be like, oh, that looks easy, I can do that. You try it and you fail or whatever. You can't compete at that same level, right? But yeah, sorry for this dark topic, guys. Just wanted to talk about this just because of how I felt, and I keep this YouTube stuff as like a library diary thing. But yeah, any last words to end this off? Not really. You guys have a great night, and if you need to talk to someone, and sometimes you need to just step away sometimes from reality, right? the internet, especially the internet, can be very bullyish and just toxic. So definitely step away from that if you need to. Or games, right? If you're getting depressed from playing a game, step away. Take some time off, you know. But yeah, you guys have a great night. Take care, and let me know if I missed anything on this talk about depression. Hopefully, I hit like certain like fields, you know, like fields of like what you can do, how you feel, how to adapt, how to move on, just stay positive. But yeah, take care, guys. Zeph out. Bye bye.